What's up, guys? This is Jaden McKillop, and I'm here to show you my entire collection of Smallville DVDs. This is a series I'm really proud to own because Smallville is my favorite TV show, my favorite superhero TV show of all time. It stood out to me a lot over the years, and I got so interested in watching the show because of this one documentary about Superman. It's called "Look Up at the Sky: The Amazing Story of Superman." In like the later part of the documentary, they talk just a little bit about this show and when it was created. Yeah, they don't really talk about it that long in the documentary, but alright, so let's get started. Here's season 1. I got this as a gift from my grandmother about a decade ago, and I got so interested in watching the show when I started this season. So here's the front with Clark. Here's the spine, and here's the back, which talks about. It has a little bit of a description about the season and the show itself. Of course, the credits and like still shots from the show. Of course, special features right here as well. And of course, it has the Smallville season 1 on top there. Now let's go ahead and go in. So here's the front of it. Of course, we showed this, and here's a still shot of the cast, of the first season cast, by the way. Alright, now let's go in. Here's disc 1 with Clark. Here's disc 2 right here with Lana. Now, I just want to remind you that after owning this for over 10 years, this set is pretty beat up. So, yeah. And here's disc 3 with Lex. Here's disc 4 with Chloe, one of my favorite characters. And here's disc 5 with the character of Pete. And here's disc 6 with Clark's parents, Jonathan and Martha. And of course, got a little bit of an episode guide in here as well. And of course, it has a description about the show. And of course, it has the cast right on front. Of course, it has like all 21 episodes plus special features as well. And there's season 1. Okay, now let's keep going. Here's season 2. This is actually the second the second copy of season 2 that I've ever actually owned. Because when I originally got season 2, I originally got a Region 2 DVD by accident, and I actually had that thing for so many years. But then I saw this at a local pawn shop, and I decided, you know what, I had to buy it so I could complete the collection. And I finally got it. So now, this is actually the last Smallville DVD that I ever actually bought. All right, so here's the front with Clark. There's the spine. And here's the back. Of course, it has a still shot of the cast. Of course, you know, all the other stuff you'd expect to see from here. Of course, here's the Smallville season 2 on top. Now let's go on and go inside. Here's the front of it, the spine, of course. Here's the still shot of the season 2 cast. And here's disc 1 with Clark. Here's disc 2 with Lana. Here's disc 3 with Lex, disc 3 with Chloe, disc 5 with Pete, and finally here's disc 6 again with Jonathan and Martha Kent. And this when I got this set, it didn't come with an episode guide, so which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah, who cares? Alright, so that's season 2. Okay, and here's season 3. Of course, I got this with my original copy of season 2 when I originally got it. I got both seasons 2 and 3 for Christmas one year. Sorry, I gotta wipe off a little bit of dust. So, yeah. This is probably I would agree, it's probably one of the darkest seasons. You know, it was as described by the creators in that one Superman documentary. I would happen to agree, it was kind of dark in most ways. So here's the front with Clark, Lana, and Lex. Here's the spine. And here's the back, which talks about the season itself. Of course, the special features and how different it is from the, and of course, Smallville season 3 on top. Now let's go ahead and go in. Here's the front. Here's the spine, and here's a still shot of Clark with the Kryptonian symbol on his chest, just burning him like hell. Because I don't want to spoil anything, but okay, now let's go in. This set is really beat up. It was kind of beat up when I first got it. It was okay. So here's disc 1 with Clark. Ah, damn it. Disc 2 with Lana. Sorry. Disc 3 with Lex. Fuck. Here's disc 4 with Chloe. Sorry, it's gonna take a couple seconds. Here's disc 5 with Pete, and as always, here's disc 6 with Jonathan and Martha. This may take a couple seconds. And of course, here's the episode guide for season 3. Description about the season, and of course here's the cast of the 3rd season, which is basically the same thing as the 2nd season. Of course, all 22 episodes, and that's just about it for season 2. Sorry about all the difficulties with this set. It is pretty beat up, but all the discs still work. Okay, here's season 4. Here's where things actually really start to change. Of course, here's the front with Clark and the newcomer of Lois Lane, right there. And here's the spine. And of course, here's the back, which talks about season 4 and all that. I gotta tell you, this is... never mind. Alright. And of course, here's Smallville season 4, right there. And now let's go in. Here's the front of the box set. Here's the spine, and here's the screenshot of the season 4 cast. Oh, sorry about that. Here's disc 1 with Clark. These sets are really difficult to use. Here's disc 2 with Lana. Here's disc 3 with Lex. Here's disc 4 with Chloe. Here's disc 5 with Lionel Luthor, Lex's dad. And here's disc 6 with Jonathan and Martha once again. And of course, there is an episode guide for season 4. Here we go. Here's the entire description of how the season goes, and of course, here's the cast of the 4th season. Of course, there's some differences between it, and of course there's 22 episodes like usual. Here we go. That's basically season 4. This was Clark's last year in high school throughout this whole season. That was kind of sad to see him go. I mean, after high school, but hey, at least he didn't actually leave. Alright, now here's where things really start to change. Here's season 5 of Smallville, right here. This was the show's last season on the WB network, which has been there since it first started. And afterwards, the WB was no longer around. Well, actually, you know what? I'll get to that later. So here's the front with Clark and Lex. Here's the spine, and here's the back. So this is Clark's first year not in high school. And it is, and of course we do lose a couple more beloved characters throughout this season, which kind of sucks, but you know, it's a series, some stuff like that has to happen. Alright, so let's go in. So here's the box set. Here's Here's the spine, and here's a screenshot of Clark in the Fortress of Solitude, which was created at the I believe it was teased at the end of the fourth season, but it was actually created at the beginning of this one. Okay, now, of course, here we go. Here's Lex standing on top of his building of Luthor Corp in Metropolis. This is going to be kind of difficult to look at. But here's disc 1 with Clark, and disc 2, I believe, it's with Lana. Disc 3 with Lex, and disc 4 with Chloe. Disc 5 with Lois Lane, and disc 6 with Jonathan and Martha. Of course, here's an episode guide, which is kind of more the style of the actual DVD cases. Oh man. Here's the here's the entire description of what the production of season 5 was like, and here's the season 5 cast. Unfortunately, this would be the last season we see Jonathan Kent, and I don't want to spoil what actually happens, but alright. Of course, 22 episodes as usual. It seems like almost every episode in the series has 22 episodes, well, except for a few. And that's basically season 5 right there. Now, I got it. Alright, so here's where it gets interesting. Throughout the first 5 seasons of the show, I've been watching it in the actual order. But afterwards, I been watching the show pretty much out of order because it depends like which season my parents buy me. So here we go. After season 5, I watched the last half in this order: 8, 10, 9, 6, and 7. I was pretty jumbled up, but I still pretty much enjoyed it. But we're going to still go pretty much in order here. Alright, so here's season 6. This is the first season on the CW network, which is basically a merger between the WB network and UPN. And that's where the show was throughout the last half of it, and that's where the last half of the series actually aired. So here's the front with Clark, Lana, and Lex. Sorry. Here's the spine, and here's the back. It talks about the entire. It talks about most of the. It just describes how the season goes, and of course, there's a lot more screenshots of the show up there. Sorry, and of course, Smallville season 6 right here. Now let's go to. So of course the front, just like the. Okay, here's the other part of the spine. And here's a screenshot of Green Arrow, who was actually here for a short time throughout the season. There's an entire screenshot of what could have been the Justice League of the series. There's a young Bart Allen or Flash. There's Green Arrow. There's Clark. There's Aquaman, and then there's Cyborg. It was kind of interesting. All right. Well, my bad. Alright, so here's disc 1 with Clark, and disc 2 with Lana, disc 3 with Lex, and disc 4 with Chloe and newcomer Jimmy Olsen. And here's disc 5 with what was it? Oh yeah, Lois Lane and Oliver Queen, Green Arrow's alter ego. And here's disc 6 with Lana and I believe Lionel Luthor. Yep, the first season did not even have Jonathan Kent, which was pretty sad. And here's the season 6 episode guide. Talks about the entire production of season 6, and here's the season 6 cast. Of course, Oliver Queen wasn't there the whole season. He was just there for like, I believe, half of it, and also Jimmy Olsen as well. He wasn't always there either. They were kind of more there on occasion. Of course, 22 episodes, as usual. We're quite getting there. Alright, so that's season 6. Whoops, sorry about that. I'll just get to that later. Alright, now here's season 7. And unfortunately, we may lose a couple more beloved characters this season, but the show's got to go on, right? So here's the front with Clark and his cousin, Kara, or as she is really known as, Supergirl. And here's the spine, and here's the back, and here's a part of the season-long plot. Bizarro comes along. Okay, and here's Smallville Season 7 right here. Now let's go to, of course, there's the front, there's the spine, and here's a screenshot of Clark holding his, I don't know. Never mind. Of course, here's Clark and Lex in the Fortress of Solitude, I believe near the end of the season. And, now, here's disc 1 with Clark, disc 2 with Lex, and here's disc 3 with Lana, disc 4 with Chloe and Lois, and here's disc 5 with Jimmy Olsen and Kara, and here's disc 6 with Lex Luthor. I mean, with Lionel Luthor, my bad. Sadly, yeah, we'll just get to that. Alright, here's the Season 7 episode guide. And here's the production description of how the season went. Here's the Season 7 cast. Unfortunately, this is the first season not to include Martha Kent as a regular character. You know, she left at the end of season 6, I believe, to Washington, D.C. And unfortunately, this would be the last season to have Lionel Luthor, Lex Luthor, and Lana as regular characters. Which is really sad. We are losing 2 more regular characters. 2 more characters that have been... Actually 3 more characters that have been there since the beginning. Which is really, really sad. And here's a... This is the first season not to have 22 episodes. This season actually has 20 just an even number of 20 episodes because during the time this season was made, or almost any time any other show was made throughout the time this was made, was because there was a Writers Guild of America strike, which caused many shows that were going on during that time to stop for at least a while, cutting some seasons pretty short. You know, so this season pretty much lost 2 episodes. You know, when Supernatural season 3 was going on, that season only had 16 episodes, which is kind of messed up. Whoops, my bad. All right. Now, now let's go to Smallville season 8. This is where shit really changed. Some characters were introduced, and we only have 2 original characters left in the show, which is pretty sad. So, here's the front with Clark and Lois. Of course, as you can see behind them, they got jobs at the Daily Planet. Okay, they're really getting even closer to the destiny of Superman. Here's the spine, and here's the back. Of course, as usual. Now, this is the first season I have with actually a snapper case. Okay, here's Clark and Lois again, and here's the spine, and here's a shot of Clark in the Fortress of Solitude with one of the newest characters of the season, Davis. or whatever his name is. Alright, so let's go right in. So here's disc 1 with Clark. Here's disc 2 with Chloe. Disc 3 with Lois. Disc 4 with Jimmy Olsen. Disc 5, a new character, Tess Mercer. And of course the new character, Davis Bloom. Yeah, that's his name. And of course here's disc 6 with the returning character, Oliver Queen, who's actually a regular character, starting with this season. And here's the 8th season booklet. Here's the season 8 production description, and here's the season 8 cast. Unfortunately, this is the only season to have the last season to include Jimmy Olsen as a regular character. I don't want to spoil anything about what happened to him, but yeah, right. So, like several other seasons, they went back to doing 22 episodes. And that's basically it. That's season 8 of Smallville for you. Here's season 9 of Smallville right here. And of course, here's the front with Clark, who's wearing a black cloak and a shirt that actually includes his symbol, which he would later use in his... Wait, let me start over. This, of course, it shows Clark wearing a black cloak, and of course, a shirt that has his familiar symbol, which of course means hope. Superman still didn't exist yet. So here's the spine, and here's the back. This is going to be a kind of interesting season. You know, I forgot to mention. This was during when I started season 8. To be honest, the last 3 seasons to me were kind of my least favorite time on the show. Even though it got even closer to Clark becoming Superman, it just didn't feel like the same anymore. But I did still enjoy it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still did like the show at the time. All right, so here's the front again, and here's the spine, and here's the screenshot from the season finale, which included Clark and the newcomer Zod. Yep, Zod has become a character on the show. So let's keep going on the character. Let's open up. Here's disc 1 with Clark, disc 2 with Chloe, disc 3 with Lois, disc 4 with Tess Mercer, she's still in the show, disc 5 with Zod, and disc 6 with Oliver Queen. And here's the season 9 booklet. Here's the season 9 production description right here. Here's the season 9 cast. Yep, the first season not to include Jimmy Olsen, which is, I mean, he was an okay character. And of course, yeah, as I mentioned before, Zod has become part of the show during this season. Of course, 22 episodes have been done. Oh yeah, this season includes a double episode called Absolute Justice. This is actually the first one out of 2 episodes throughout the last 2 seasons that have had double episodes. Really cool. So let's get to that one. We'll get to the other one after. And that's season 9 for you. And finally, this one, although it did make me happy, it also made me pretty sad. This is the final season of Smallville. As Clark, of course, as you might have guessed, at the end of the season, Clark finally fulfills his destiny as Superman. It made me sad that the show ended after all these years, but he finally, since he finally fulfilled his destiny as Superman, why not end the series? He finally did it. So of course, here's the front with Clark, and of course in the background, there's a shadow of Superman. Of course, the Superman symbol right there as well. This is actually the most different out of the last 9 seasons because, of course, the first 9 seasons were pretty much styled like this, with the Smallville right on the side. But this time, they put Smallville and the final season right on top of each other. And of course, here's the spine and here's the back. And here's where it says right here, Destiny Fulfilled. Yep, it actually happened. After 10 seasons, the show was sadly off the air. Alright, so let's go in. So here's the front of the case, here's the spine, and here's a screenshot of Clark and Oliver. And you might not know this, but the guy right here is actually Zod. This is during one of the episodes of the season. So let's go in. Here's disc 1 with Clark, disc 2 with Lois, disc 3 with Tess Mercer, disc 4 with Oliver Queen, disc 5 with Chloe, and for the heck of it, they put Jonathan and Martha at disc 6. Like, after all these years, why not do it again? Alright, here's the last one, the Season 10 booklet. And of course, this includes Clark wearing his Superman jacket, which brings him actually a whole lot closer to becoming Superman. And I just want to show this. At the very back, it shows his suit. Oh man, that is absolutely awesome. Here's Season 10. Here's the description. And here's the Season 10 cast, which is by far the shortest, with only 5 regular cast members. Well, actually, there's been mostly 4 throughout the entire show, because surprisingly, Chloe was only in like 3, 4, or 5 episodes throughout the entire season, which I found a little bit disappointing, because Chloe was always one of my favorite characters. And of course, the last 22 episodes ever. And the finale is a double episode. Oh man, Smallville, you will always be missed. And that, my friends, that's all 10 seasons of Smallville on DVD, which I've had for over 10 years. It's a show I will always miss. I wish they would have made another season which always showed Clark as Superman. But I've moved on over the years. I do like to go back and watch the show. Like, at least certain episodes. I think the first 3 seasons are probably my favorite portion. I mean, Season 4 was good. These seasons were okay. Not so sure about the last 3 seasons. They weren't as great. But overall, the show was a great experience in my last 10 years. In the last 10 years of my life. I'm really glad to have seen it. So that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed me sharing my Smallville collection. I will see you in another video.